Well, today is not your regular video today. Today is something a whole lot more different than we had to do before. Hey guys, it's me. The one of the very few times you always see me on the videos. We're going into a more documentary style videos. It's something that we have been planning for quite some time. Today's topic that we're going to be talking about is regarding the fandoms itself. Doesn't matter from anime to games. We're going to ask three particular questions. One based on logical, one based on emotional, and the other one is based on a uncomfortable questions. These are going to involve both the logical side of thinking, emotional side of thinking, and pretty much saying things that they're not very comfortable to say it in front of the camera or in general. So I hope you guys are ready for this bumpy ride because I have no clue what's going to happen to me and what the audience is going to expect from it. So let's see from where this goes.
Let her know you want her. Physically.
The words have already left your mouth.
I want to have a with you.
There's an announcement.
Guys, so today we're with the people and the creators of Buttman and his partners at Madlu. And here's the creator himself. Would you like to introduce to the camera?
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Suf Banson and I'm a voice actor, but I'm also the creator of Buttman, the alien from the planet Uranus. Yeah.
Like the whole general topic that we're going to have for today is like based all around within fandom, which I think I have given you the rundown about it. So we'll be asking three base questions based on the fandom itself.
Okay.
So to the audience, there'll be three questions, just giving the rundown between both logical, emotional, and uncomfortable questions. The criteria for it is just to make sure that it involves a lot more thinking, emotions, and obviously something that you're not willing to say in front of the camera itself. So
All right.
it gives some sense of like leverage between each other. So like we can ask things that can bounce out, that having pretty much a normal conversation as it is.
Okay, cool.
Which would you like to start first?
Let's go with the logical one first. You know?
All right, logical questions.
Yeah, logical question.
All right. If you're going for logical questions, so we'll start with this.
All right.
Based on the fandoms that you are with currently, you don't have to say out loud as always. As the community that has grown over time and showing progress of a like rapid fan base from young to old, do you think that it's possible that the fandom itself can grow between more than just a corporates to fans to like building rapid of like selling products and such, or to building more than what it is supposed to be? What do you think in general?
I think definitely now in like our digital and like social media internet age, I think the lines between the corporate and the fans have been really blurred, right? I think in the case of like, how to say, like VTubers, for example, right? You can sort of like directly talk with the talents. Yeah, correct. And also their boss or something, or their agency, right? Like they're within, sort of, so to speak, within arm's reach. Yeah, correct. Right? Yeah. So like if I imagine this like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that being possible. But now with like social media and stuff like that, I think there's a lot more interaction between the corpos and the fans, I feel like, right? Yeah, correct. Because a lot of the, especially for like younger viewers, and I especially think like, especially like YouTuber in the category of people, I feel like a lot of it comes from like the idea like, especially with the current fiasco that I think you and I are very familiar with, is that they are mostly targeting towards younger audience where they're trying to capture you by, like catching your attention, putting your money into it, especially in those departments. It's like, I feel there is some sense of diversity because their main approach at the end of the day is that your fans, how they grow as an economy is that they get money directly from the fans. So that's how I was thinking, like, is there a way to bridge that connection without compromising both the money aspect of it and the fans aspect into it? Between like making, like trying to prioritize monetization for you as a business owner, and also like how YouTubers, like big companies try to monetize their own profit just to make money to survive and to keep the livelihood around. But how do you balance between that and also your fans who like they're mainly there for what you are as a person itself? That kind of thing. Like where's the compromise to meet that balance? So it's like it doesn't come off as corporate, it doesn't come off like you're just kissing butts with the fans as well. Yeah, I think intended. Yeah, I see what you did there. Oh yeah, that's a hard line to balance, right? Correct. Because it does sometimes if you're a bit too much with the fans, they can feel a bit more like entitled. Yes, exactly. You know what I mean, right? Exactly. And then they start asking for much. I think there still needs to be a little bit of like sort of distance between the talents and their fans, you know, because if not,
then there's that world that starts to like being.
I think it's still good to have that sort of gap, but
how would you make that bridge for, especially like say if your fandom grows in your own community, how would you balance things out, especially?
I think that even that is something that I'm still trying to figure out. Yeah, like between how much distance I need to put between me and the fans and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's like how friendly I should be, and like how like distant I should keep my distance. I'm still trying to figure that out. In the case of like VTubers or like seiyus or voice actors, bigger names, right? I think it's much easier for them to put that gap because you don't really see them physically that much. Like, because for me, like I'm always around, right? So I can't, it's hard for me to put that gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think like for all those like big artists, it's a bit easier because you don't see them physically that much.
True.
I feel like.
Because a lot of their identity already by default don't reveal themselves. They don't make themselves very to be revealed. But then to us, like I feel like the world between both like yours, which is like you have to make it apparent for your fans, especially since you want to gain your own audience.
That's true.
And then also the world where it's like it's an easy way because there's a whole agency team, marketing team that goes behind it to make you already appear everywhere. Especially.
Yeah, that's true. Like I don't have an agency. I'm just a guy.
Standalone, isn't it?
Yeah, with a few friends that's helping me out. So, like how I operate in the case of the booth is that I'll be the front man because people want to see me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'll have my team at the back, you know, handling all the sales and stuff. And I'll be, you know, doing the
juggling between the work as it is.
It'd be like that.
True. So, in your honest opinion in this topic, I would say like it's a mixture of both like uncertainty and still trying to figure things out.
But I do feel like you still need to like interact and be close with your fans, but still have that gap.
Correct.
You know,
some level of like balancing involves some compromises that should have been made in the middle regardless.
And I think that thing has to be established early on. Yeah, I think if it's established like too late, you know, the fans will get angry.
Yeah,
of course.
Exactly.
Understandably so.
But at the same time, it's like you chose to be here as well. For me, I would like that the understanding already right out the gate. It's like there is some level of like, you know, balancing between like this is my private life and this is yours to keep.
Yeah,
I would like that space that we have now. Correct.
Yeah, you get it.
Pretty much as it is. Right.
I think we're on the same length when it comes to that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we do like it, but at the same time, it's like, I like my space when I need my space.
Exactly. Yeah. Like outside of events, leave me alone. Just kidding.
Disclaimer. This is between family direction. So, all right. So the next two questions, you can choose again.
There was an emotional one and a controversial one, right? Yeah, let's go with emotional. Let's say the controversial one for the last.
All right. So for the emotional side of things, especially as where you are now in your current position, as where as you're starting out the business, especially when now we're in that topic again. If you were to grow the fans that you have become, your chances of meeting them face to face will be very limited.
Actually, you're right. Yeah.
Because like the concept where I think Markiplier had made this comment before, where he's like saying that after how big you become, it's very hard to keep up with everyone now because the people that you know from the very beginning that support you since the day one has now become
more distant, right?
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? Honestly, will that hurt you like emotionally because knowing that now you have mountains of fans compared to like close knits of fans, so like, you know them personally, like I know, I know where you're from, and then now you have like hundreds or thousands of people just coming to Ram just to see you as it is. Like, how do you think will that make you feel, and how will you like macam try to circumvent that whole feeling that you had from the very beginning?
Yeah, because as of now, I am at that stage where like I have a close knit of fans, like where I know them and I still remember their names and stuff like that, right? But yeah, I do imagine like as I continue to grow, that, like you said, that distance will happen.
Yeah, it will start to kick in regardless what we do.
To me, that is sad, and then you know it'll be hard for those like original fans to come and meet me when that happens,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
To me, that is quite sad because they were there from the beginning.
Yeah, they've been loyal to you since the very start of it.
And for me, I would like to try to be fair to them, and like. But how? That's another question,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's a toughie. For me personally, I would be sad. Like, I'd be happy that I have a lot of people that like my stuff.
Like you're grateful. You're in the
I'm grateful.
100% grateful.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like I would like to get to know you guys, but at the same time, like now there's this gap of like I can't talk to you guys because if I make attention to one person, some of them will feel left out.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
I can't interact with you now. It's like I feel like the bad guy for whatever reason in that situation. So I get what you mean. It's something that I always curious, especially you as the owner and also like now managing a whole new field of your own. It's like. Especially with, as for me, I come from a background where I work in IT department. So obviously I have no correlations with media. So even though we are doing media as it is, I like the idea that going outside my comfort zone and becoming one because I started off as a streamer. So a lot of my friends in this circle are from that category. So I had that fear as well, which is that like, I meet so much of these people and they all mean someone to me. And that's the reason why I pulled the plug so early, which is that a lot of them told me that you can continue streaming because you have that personality. But then in my mind, I'm like, if I keep doing that, I have no chance of talking to you. Because this bond that I have, it's coming from wanting to like really be with you guys because you mean someone to me. So I would like to say thank you even more than that. I make that bond that I wanted to make from the very beginning.
That's true.
So that's how I was thinking. Like for me, it's like my biggest drawback is that I can choose to have the fame, or I can choose to keep my friends closer to me and the people that I know that's fans to come to me. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like how do you think that you can start work that balance out between your own emotions and wanting to like be closer with your fans, especially both new and old, especially. Yes, I know it's a very hard question.
Yeah, that is hard. And at my stage right now, it is also something I'm still figuring out.
As well.
I mean, a lot of them, like those really early original fans, they have become like actual friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we hang out already.
You meet them everywhere and such.
Yeah. So I think for that circle, it's fine to keep them as my friends, so to speak. Yeah. So maybe like for the bulk of the new fans that come in later, maybe that one I can.
It's like I appreciate you guys. I still love you guys.
Yeah.
My special reserves still with the people that have been with me since the very beginning.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the fans would understand that as well. Yeah.
It's like a love that it's like it's not like we're not being picky. We're just like being like they believe in me very beginning. I appreciate you guys for now like wanting to support me, but these people has like through thick and thin been there. They have every right to stay.
Yes,
so I want them
that's
to
true.
stay because I personally want them to be here.
Yeah.
So there's no such. I won't say there's a privilege. Obviously, they were already here from the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's like I would like it because they made the effort to be here. I will reward them for being here for me right now. So
That's
I will
true.
put more into it, especially.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would definitely prioritize like these original fans
This very
first.
original
This close.
knit of people that you're already very familiar
Yes.
with.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's only fair, and for them as well. Yeah. I think it'll suck if like I suddenly put a distance with
Just right out
them,
of the
right?
gate, right out of the gate for like, hey, I have this mountain of fans. You guys don't matter
Yeah.
anymore. Like, what the hell?
Like it makes me look kind of a dick, right?
Yeah,
Kinda,
exactly.
So
I feel like it will make you look terrible regardless of what.
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
feel good anymore.
exactly. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not making you feel like
No worries, I'm totally fine. Yeah.
because I know this is like really tough questions because I'm going for personal deep into your character and you as the creator yourself. So I would like to I think the audience would like to know more of you, especially in this situation. All right. So now we go to the meat and potatoes.
All right.
Uncomfortable questions. So
All right.
as a growing business of your own with the vendors and everything, controversies are bound to happen, correct? Yeah, so in that regards, those are those controversies, especially in terms of maybe friends, people that you meet that have maybe bring rap to your own business, especially on your own. But it's worse if it's someone that you know personally. In that regards, how do you think it's going to work out for you, knowing that if it's someone that you know already from the very beginning, now is also stabbing you in the back in terms of how to deal with your reputation? That is something that I would like to know. How will you approach?
Deal with,
deal with it right now. In
So
that
like
sense.
if someone close to me or like tied to my brand,
in the
like
day
buat
when-
hal lah
you know,
kiranya.
with all the current allegation with
Yeah.
so I'd like to
Wow.
hear your approach into it, especially as well.
I feel like even if that person has like been with me for a long time, yeah, I think I will just
Cut them off.
cut them off. Yeah, immediately. Yeah, I think that's I don't think there'll be any, how to say, like discussion or argument about it between me and them. I would just
like
cut
you
them
are a
off.
bad cause. I would not like you to be around here anymore. as it is.
Yeah, I mean, why would I want them around anyway if they're
They're already bringing bad name press for myself in that.
exactly,
regards.
and like not just like personally, but my brand as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think it's best to like just nip it in the bud, right? Get
it. So let's say that was the case, you managed to cut them off, but then now your fans are now acknowledging what has happened in the background. How do you acknowledge and comfort and reassure your fans that this will not affect you as a whole and your name and the brand? How would now you approach with them in that department? Because they would like to know, like, because you know that person also, and now the allegations come out.
Yeah.
Now you have to figure out, like, how the hell do you tell your fans and say, I know this man, I know him all my life, but this is a side of him that I've never seen before. Like,
Yeah,
personally
I
never
think
knew.
that's usually the case. Like, even no matter how close you are to someone, you really don't really know them completely.
Yeah, correct.
Especially that sort of like dark side.
Yeah, like the
part,
more
right?
the more in depth, like that's already the part of human life that we don't dare to touch.
Yeah, like even like me or you wouldn't want to like put in front, right?
Correct, exactly. A disclaimer, yes, we know what degeneracy is. We all have our own private life, but
I mean, yeah.
but these are some things are like
Some things are just like unacceptable.
like
right?
don't do it, like don't
crossing
try.
the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, no.
So how would you like try your best to like tell your friends like, look, I know what you guys feel, and I know you'll be like, how will you not know this man, or this person, like, this for so long, and then why now only you like, while he makes a controversy, why not cut him off? Why didn't you spot it in the earlier days? or
Yeah,
something
because
like
that's what's been happening recently, right? With
Yeah.
like some YouTubers and streamers, right?
disclaimers, yeah, we're not gonna say their names. We know who they are.
We know who they are.
We just not gonna say their names.
But yeah, it's like when that happened, that also made me think lah, right?
Yeah.
Like, takkan kau tak tahu kau member kau macam ni
Yeah,
kan?
it's like, what about like then let's say if it hits us, that's also a whole different feeling.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
when I thought like, oh shit, like what if this happened to me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how would I deal with that? That's a toughie. I don't think there's any easy way to go about it because
Yeah,
people will
exactly.
still question.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if I memang tak tahu yang, orang tu macam tu, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But like I said lah, like we don't really know what's happening behind.
Closed doors
Yeah,
and
behind
personal
closed
lives
doors.
of a lot of people, especially.
Yeah, and especially when a person is doing bad shit, they won't be going around
They
telling
won't
people,
say
right?
everyone like, hey, I'm going to commit crimes.
Yeah,
today. It's
exactly.
like, I don't think that's a disclaimer that they had to pull out. Like, I know we make jokes with our friends like, hey, I'm going to the toilet now to take a dump. But it's like, this is not like, hey, I'm going to commit some serious crime that's about to happen right now. So I'm just telling you to best be prepared. Like, okay, good to know. I'm going to jail somehow, maybe. I don't know. I feel I agree with you to an extent, because I feel for most like creators, especially when they grow their own empire and their own businesses, especially, allegations are always bound to happen. Rumors, speculations.
Yeah.
It's something that we're going to have to deal with it eventually. But at the same time, I always like to hear diverse opinions about like how would you like acknowledge between yourself, your fans, and your own circle of things that happens around, especially in that regards.
I think in my case, like I've been pretty transparent with everyone about who I am or how I am, and I mean, look at my brand. It's like butts,
Yeah,
right?
it's like butt cheeks.
So I'm putting my degeneracy out in the open. So
So you can see he's a butt man, his love.
yeah. So like, I don't know. It's kind of showing that I don't really
There's nothing
have
to
anything to hide.
Yeah.
So at least for me, I think I'm a pretty okay guy.
I'll leave it to the fans to decide that one. Everyone that knows him personally, just sweating. Oh God.
Oh
Now
God.
I'm putting it to the flames.
That's why.
It's like, God, I wasn't expecting that. But I respect your position in that, because I feel like it's still and I think we can agree, this is still very fresh. Especially if we don't think about this, because it's like you in your mind, it's like this should not happen and it can never happen because it seems out of reach. But at the same time, it's like if it does happen, it's good to think about it somehow one day.
Yes.
Because
it is bound to happen somehow, right?
Yeah, but then as the way you approach it, I feel like it's a very unknown world. But at the same time, it's I think it gives you some food for thought. Like this is something to think about. But at the same time, it's like no human beings will be that bad, right? I hope. Staring to the camera, this this already.
But yeah, in my case, I try to be as transparent as I can be with how I am and who I am.
Yeah, actions above words as the end.
Yes, so right. I think, at least I hope fans would understand that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think give it some time and thought. Maybe fans will like take into consideration because I feel like, especially with past few years where we had like things like cancel culture where everyone is just canceling them out of like, not really out of like protecting the people, but more like I don't like your opinions, I'm gonna cut the rope immediately. Like, what did I do?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Like there's no like proper like actual like proof and evidence. It's just a lot of it just speculation.
Yeah, especially with internet and social media nowadays, it's so much more easier to just
make a rumor and then boom, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. Like no proof, like bam. Like one karangan and then you're over.
Yeah, it's like what in my notepad I made in iPhone. That's what I have, especially. So for the whole topic right now, especially with vendors, and now I'm targeting you as owner. How do you feel about this whole topic in general, especially? How does it make you feel overall, and the thinking process behind it?
It's even this whole topic in general, it has been something that's been on my mind, and I do think about like how do I tackle this sort of thing in the future, right? As I continue to grow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I would say like these are really good questions.
Thank you.
And yeah, thanks for asking me because this is useful for me too.
Just in case in the future.
Yeah, just in case in the future something happens, I'll be prepared at least.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like 20 years ago or 10 years ago when a celebrity does some shit and then
it's like, it's all over the TV news. So great.
Yeah, and then like it's just like whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like especially with the new age where like we as born from the internet, I think that's all of us here, especially.
Yeah.
I feel like the world is different.
Oh, way different now. Yeah, just like one small thing, like, and then you're gone. It's over.
Yeah. I feel like there's a good power behind it, but at the same time, there's not really like a sense of like justice also that's been served properly.
Yeah.
It's just more like people just feel like they have the power to just throw you off your throne.
Which is honestly quite a scary thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even if those allegations are not true, like
you feel like this is still gonna hurt me regardless.
Yeah, like it is, how to say, like a black spot on your reputation as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I feel like as you as the owner and what you're telling me, I feel like you have a lot to go through, but at the same time, I feel like you, as you said yourself, you have been very upfront about what you are and the content and that you produce. So I feel like a lot of the audience, especially for yours, will appreciate the idea that you're not hiding anything. If I'm already going to show someone's butt on as my plaster, as my merchandise, this is going to be my thing. Like no one can take it away from me. Like I'm at least happy to acknowledge that this is my magnum opus. Like no one can take that away. If you want to take me down, go ahead. You want to take down a guy who loves butt?
Yeah,
be my guest.
I do.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You're gonna destroy your own fandom because you like your butts too. Like you can't destroy mine because I like butts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like in this sense, like I think we're all just getting the hang of it. But it's good to have like some level of like understanding what's going on. At least you can be prepared if the things were to happen. At least in that regards. So I want to say thank you, man, for allowing me to interview you for all these questions. I know it's a bit hard. I wasn't.
This is so different from last year. Was it 2 years ago? It was last year.
Yeah, I think we can give the B-roll to him.
Yeah.
Because we had this talk like way back in the day. I think 2 years ago when we first met.
Ah, yes, it was 2 years ago.
I think that's when like we first meet you in CF, and I was like, there's a guy that makes butts. And here the tables have turned, and I'm asking you all the very hard questions.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a whole different tone I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
But it's a breath of fresh air, and it's a really good topic that, we should tackle even as fans or as an artist, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We should be aware about this whole thing. Yeah.
Because it's not every day we think about this, because we just like, I'm here to have fun, and that's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to have here to have fun, meet new friends, meet new people, get to like be closer with them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like there is a food for thought, because remember, everyone don't have good intentions, and there's some will have very terrible malicious intent.
That's true.
We do not know. It's like they could be your friend one day and they can turn your back around also the another day. So we just take everything with a guard, but at least with some level of our own friendliness as well.
Yes, that's
like
true.
the wall that we'll eventually will bring it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Exactly. So
but it's okay, we're buddies though.
It's nice knowing you, and I think you can tell to your friends to come visit your booth and everything.
All right. Hi guys. Hold on. Trying to
take a breather.
Yeah. Okay, you can come visit my booth at any other future events next year. Come to the Batman booth whenever you see him, and then show your support, buy my toys, stickers, plushies, and yeah, in 2025 we're going to have a whole lot of more stuff. Yeah, what those stuff are, I can't tell yet, but you'll see. Can I say one more thing? Have a good ass day and bye.
Your hands can't agree what to do, and the two dice drop to the floor and scatter in opposite directions, like pearls in a broken skin. The blue one disappears down the pit in the center of the room.
All right, so I like how we had a really deep conversation. Now we're going straight for the review as it is.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, it is what it is, and that's the beautiful part about it.
Hi, my name is Taki. I'm from Jambu Studios. If you're free, just come by and say hi. You don't really have to buy anything. Just say hi. It's always nice to see like a friendly face around.
And just to give context to the audience, you're the first person to know my character and his character.
Wow,
so
I'm honored.
So, because the first 30 minutes of the hall opening, we were joking to each other like he made a joke saying that I highly doubt people know who Disco Elysium as a game and the characters that we're playing, because it's already a very niche game, like extremely. And I think you as a fan as well, it's like, maybe if you my friends know about it or how obsessive I am, I'll tell them about it. Like, hey, you gotta play this game. It's so good.
Oh yeah, I've tried to like get my friends into Disco Elysium for so long, but they were like, they just said I don't want. I heard that Disco Elysium is really depressing, so I would like rather not go into that. I'm like, okay, fine,
it's
no.
Like, you have to see the magic side of it. That's the magical part of the game.
Let's go with like the easiest one, which is I would say maybe the logical part.
Even
though I'm like an emotional person in general.
Understandable. I am myself too. So for the logical questions, okay, for any fandom of your choice, in a sense of like all the current fandom that you are into currently as it is, based on the interactions that you have met from one fandom to another, do you think there is some level of like intertwined between each other? Like there's like correlations between one fandom to another?
What do you mean by that? Like
something like maybe a same general interest, same like level of like shipping with each characters that you like and such. So it's like something that is connecting between you and another specific fandom that you like. Maybe like a correlation between one fandom to another. Like you may find like correlations within each other, that kind of thing.
I would say that some of the characters, like, I don't know if it's like emotional or something, but some of the characters like mostly resonate a lot with a lot of people, and they share a lot of common themes with each other. So I guess that's one of the things that a few fandoms find in common, because I did realize that being a part of this fandom and being a part of another fandom, I realized, I think I like this character because
they're part of something that I'm actually already interested in.
Yeah, and they're like this, so it resonates with me. So I get interested and I get hyper-fixated.
Yeah, correct. Because I do feel that some level of like connection between fandoms to another is because like I like this character, and then suddenly when I'm into another fandom, it's like that character resonates with me for no apparent reason. And I'm like, why is that? And then you start picking up the pieces, and you're like, wow, it's like maybe because the way they behave, the personality and everything, it links so much very well with what I like already in general. So I was like, that makes sense. Like they link with each other so naturally or with so I feel like it's a binding process. Like it's general interest that combines very quickly. But I feel for a lot of people, like they don't still haven't gotten the picture of it. Like, well, like I have this specific type of character, but you can see it, but they can't. How will you approach them, telling them like, maybe because you like this, blah 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 blah, and that such blah blah blah, and all that. How do you think you would approach?
Oh, so if they like this character but they don't like
yeah,
that
but
character?
even though they're the same, how will you react towards that?
I would say that you're wrong. Now I'm just joking. It's more like I feel like liking a character in general and resonating with them. I think it's a little bit interesting because it's not that usually you like characters that resemble you a lot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like liking a character and knowing more about them is also the process of knowing more about yourself. Because I did realize that liking a character, I'm like, why do I like this character so much? Why does this character resonate with me so much? And I start picking at it, and I'm like, is it because I'm like this? Is it because I would react the same way that they react? Did we go through the same
like life history,
life
processes
history and hardships and challenges? So it's like when I like dismantle all of that, it's like it clicks. It's like, oh, so that's why I like this character, because this character tells this thing about myself. So I think that's why some characters mean a lot to some people.
That level of like connection between themselves and the character helps to bring that like chain of reaction between one character to another, linking to one fandom to another. I feel that that's like a very broad emotional spectrum of it that really combines a lot of their thinking state and like mental state of like how like, oh, maybe like with a bit of digging I realized like where is this exactly coming from now. And I feel like a lot of fandoms are still very new to the whole thing, right? Some are very very young, maybe way younger than us, like 16, 15 year teens, and they're just like, oh my god, this one character I'm really in love with and I don't have an idea why am I liking this person. And you as like a way older fandom, you're like, it's coming from a very deep place, and I know you will know why you're in this first place, that kind of thing.
It is a little bit mind blowing, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what they did, in the most forward blunt way. It's like when they discovered nudity and such. It's like, oh my god, what is this? I've never seen anything like this before. So yeah, I would agree to that. It's very much like a born of it, like something desired within them in a way that allows it to finally reflect upon a character that they can be with. So I would say that's like the most logical like response. It's very very thoughtful. And now
nice, I got like points for that, right?
I mean, for the audience and such, I think they will really appreciate it as it is.
I hope so.
So in this situation, now you can choose the next remaining two between the emotional and the uncomfortable questions. Which one do you want to go for?
Let's leave the uncomfortable question for last.
Okay, we go for the uncomfortable, the last one. So we go for emotional ones now. Since we're already on that topic regarding about the fandom and how they replace their characters towards it, do you think that in a sense where now they're putting their soul and into their own like personality from a character or taking into the characters itself, do you think that giving them a chance to like to make themselves be a better person, like to like reflect upon like who they are truly as they are?
I think one really interesting phenomena that happens when someone really likes a character is that they start to interpret the character as their own OC, and in the end, first they would give like a different hairstyle or like a little tiny knickknacks here and there to really tell about it, but then it ends up altering it as a whole, and then they would make it as their OC. So I think that's a very interesting phenomena. It really tells the audience that they really care about that character, and that character means a lot to them. I really like that.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of like, especially since we're going on that topic anyway, like the younger ones and especially older ones, especially now even more with how life is going for everyone, is that they start using more the character to like reflect so naturally, like this character is going through exactly what I'm thinking, so I'm going to use that as my base of my personality to like allowing me to cope with the world and try to at least make sense of what's going on. Especially,
I mean, I can list a lot of characters that actually help me cope with life in general. Like, as you can see, this is Harry Dubois from Disco Elysium. I would say that he was one of the characters that really helped me when I was doing a really hard time. Like when I was really going through a rough patch in life, I would say that Harry helped me a lot to understand myself better, to cope better, and to reflect. Basically, it's the same as.
Yeah, I understand. I do believe it comes from a very raw emotional state of places, especially because it's like when you're going through a lot of things in life, these kind of characters bring some level of comfort, despite how the narrators in the game itself try to make sure to remind you, like, this man, he was an asshole right at the beginning of the game, which they give a very good law, like, Harry wasn't nice to begin with, but people find ways to like realize that Harry's actually a nice guy if you make him the way you want him to be. And he really falls through their footsteps. And I think it reflects also on the characters that you talk to and how they interact with you. And I think that's why you're like very much invested into like, I feel good because I know that this person can be better and I can be better myself. And I think it reflects really, really well into it.
Okay. You just took my point away.
Sorry.
Nah, it's okay. Words out of my mouth.
But I would say that as a fans of Harry yourself, like I think it comes from how to say, the motivational drive where it's like going through the backstory and knowing it themselves. You made an effort where it's like you want to change it, right? Like you determinedly said, I want it to be different, not following what the director's telling me what I can do. Like he doesn't have to drink, he doesn't have to smoke. I am in control because I know what it means to me.
I do wish it was easier to make that change in real life as well. Like, I think it's a little bit ironic that we would root for someone that's obviously,
correct.
Characterized as a horrible person.
Yeah.
And we're rooting for them. We want them to get better, but we assume that, we ourselves assume that we are horrible people and we can't change. So
exactly.
I feel like it's a bit ironic. And I feel like a lot of people can change for the better if they want to, even though they think they are a horrible person.
That is true, very, very true. I feel like it'll come in the moments where the characters itself will outgrow them. And I think now it segues to the very good part of the questions, which is the very controversial, uncomfortable questions.
Okay.
So now I'm going to tackle you with some really hard ones. And now, which is like the obsession behind it and the shipping behind it.
Oh, shipping between Harry
the two
and
Harry and Kim.
Oh, actually, I don't ship Harry and Kim.
Oh, thank God.
I mean, I do, but they're not my OTP because I like Harry and Jean better.
I know it. He made a joke about it, like that Jean and Harry was going to be a thing. I was like, I didn't kick into my mind thinking like, why would it be Jane? Wouldn't it be Kim? Because obviously all the ladies were thought of the same thing. Like, what they have a tension between them? And I'm like, no.
I love Jean and Harry. It's just that when you find him at the Wally and Rags downstairs and he's like wearing a wig and
his
stuff.
Wig and everything.
It's actually like an inside joke between him and Harry. So he doesn't know that Harry has amnesia, right? So he's like trying to lighten up the mood a little bit better.
Yeah.
He doesn't show it, but he really cares about Harry. That's why I personally ship them.
I agree to that. It's like it's a very a custom dynamic to it. Say, I'll be very honest. Now I'm calling the ladies out because we've been approached by all the fandom in this. I noticed a pattern. Like every person that knows our characters are mostly women, and at the same time, a lot of it are Malay women. Yeah, so we're starting. Majority are Malay women, and I'm just like,
oh my gosh, calm down.
Yeah, it's like I'm like something clicking here, but I can't seem to figure out as well, like what is it? So and he found out through the fandoms links and such, and like the hashtags that correlate between the community. Like doesn't matter TikTok, Instagram, DeviantArt, whatever your arts or your desire to look into it. It's always related to Yahweh or me and Kim. So I like I'm talking as I'm Harry Dubois, but even though I'm clearly not Harry.
Go for it.
Yeah, so it's like between the both of us, because for me and guys, we understand like there's a ship thing that goes on around like for a lot of people, and for the community itself. But like I'll be very honest, for us guys, we are used to this thing called like brothers commitment, or like we care like brothers should do, because in Saudi Arabia and also like in certain like Bangladesh and like certain countries, men hold each other's hands, not out of like affection or intimate. It's just we care for each other. This is what brothers do, like making sure that like to women we care, making sure that they're okay, because we ourselves don't really know what's really going on in that situation. We want them to be very much comfortable, like how we treat our ladies especially. So when it kind of feels weird for us guys when we are being like, how to say, sexualized, fetishized in a way, like just because two men are comfortable doesn't mean we're hooking up. It doesn't work that way.
I do understand where you're coming from because there are like frustrations that when it comes to fandoms in general, like it's obvious that, you know, it's okay to be affectionate while being platonic.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Fine. It's something that exists. So it kind of ticks me off a bit when someone's so insistent that a pairing is like, oh, they're together. Like, why can't they have like this sibling bond to them, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to ship them all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like for us as guys, it's like we like the bond. The reason why even the directors make very clear in the game that he has this undoubtedly feeling that Kim always has Harry's back, no matter what the situation. And we know how the finale went. It was the most the greatest moment in the game. Yeah, it's like death is already at my door. It's waiting to finally call me now. And then now it's like Kim is his very last defense. Is doing everything in his power to protect you now. And that hit me like a truck. And I was like, this is the brotherhood friendship that I strive to work with me and my guys. And we are doing really hard to get to that point, especially now in our lives. So that's why I was like a bit uncomfortable doing that. It's like I don't mind the ladies googling eyes at me and my characters, because I had one fan that was blushing really hard looking at me, and I was like, she kept like staring at my face. I was like, is there something that you want to tell me that something's going on in my face? Is it like, and he told me, and another lady told me that you have to understand, it's a type. You're that type. And then I was like, what do you mean that type? You look, why, ask yourself, why do ladies like Harry? And I was like, I don't know, because he's cool. He's like, no, ask more. Why do they like Harry specifically? Why the ladies? And I was like, I don't know how to feel for that because I'm not that kind of person where I can go into detail, because Kim is gay, correct?
Yes.
And I would say Harry is bi-curious because he is interested to knowing about it, and made a joke like, maybe I'm gay.
Yeah, I mean, he even went with that guy on the rooftop. They were talking about
the guy
right?
with the flamboyant hand and cigarettes, especially. Ironically enough, I'm actually bi myself. So because I have a moment in my life where I was like finally realizing that I actually fell in love with a guy, which I wasn't expecting, and I was just like, I wasn't expecting it. Like, I actually felt deep emotions, like, I don't know why am I falling for a man that I was clearly not into in the first place.
How old were you when you came to this realization?
I think I was very still early on. I just passed my high school, so I was like 20, 21, 22, around there. But still, it was like a kind of cool awakening for me. I was like, because I was not about intimacy. Like, as much as I love everyone that loves intimate stuff as it is, I'm more of a, how to say, emotions first. Looks comes later, because that is the very bare minimum, because that is something you can see every day once you're in a relationship. But the real part is when you and them can work it out. So I feel that that's the same for me when I was finding out through how I felt for persons. So that bond created in me, and it reflected also when I was with playing the character as Harry, because it makes me realize that despite the ship, and I think the biggest moment for everyone that realized that Kim and Harry was really close is when they built the bond at the swing set. When they found out that the car was actually mine.
I mean, you saw the fan art that I did of the swing set.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like hoping there was another panel showing the car that's clearly in the pool. That was his fault that he made it. And it's like, who the heck crashes that car? Like, gee, Harry, I wonder who. That's how I felt, because it's a part of the fandom where I was really, no hate, but still a bit
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I get it. I feel that uncomfortable for quite some time now. I was like, I never thought I felt as a man feel really uncomfortable that women are just looking at us through that fandom eyes as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because you see Harry and Kim walking around, the first thing you're going to think about, Kim, Harry. I mean, that's what I first thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And I was like, oh man, I just really don't want that. Because even though I love my character, I love Harry, and I think you also love the character Harry himself. But I don't feel like the whole fetishization, because I've seen the fan arts and they're like, Allah aja nampak. Only he knows what he sees. And yes, I can't.
You know, a lot of people have different opinions, but in the end of the day, we all like one thing. So
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's like for us guys, is that we're not the type where we get that idea of shipping each other more than compared to women. So the idea of shipping has always been like, in my honest opinion, what I've seen, it's mostly a women thing rather than a guy thing. But I can understand like because we have our own degeneracy that women hate, and you guys have something that you guys love that men hate. So that's a very normal thing to look at. But at the same time, I felt like it's good to somewhat rectify like while we had that conversation, like just have the conversation to really get to know about that situation as a whole.
would you like to know why most women are into yaoi? I would say that one of the reasons why a lot of women are into yaoi in general is because that we get to see the men in more like a vulnerable state is one, but a lot of female characters are really reason that they feel very flat. And at times when people try to write a romance between a female and a male character, it just falls flat because the author doesn't know how to bounce off each other's dynamic. But the author is like able to deliver that kind of emotion through, you know, brothers being like, you know, friends being brothers in arms. That's why women feel like, you know, because the women characters in general just feel very flat. You don't really resonate with them. They don't really feel human. So most of the male characters are more well written. Is what I'm saying. So they could see themselves in that position more.
You see, but then does it like in a way affect their sexual orientation towards men? Then if that was the case, if I were to ask.
I would say that.
Or is it more like a voyeurism because like some men like to see lesbians because it turns them on? And I would say, will it be the same for women as well towards men like that?
I'm not sure. I can't really have a say on that matter because I'm not really into yaoi. This is like
how you see your friends and people.
I see, yeah.
Understandable.
It's more like I wouldn't say it's like voyeurism. It's more like relatability.
All right.
Because you know, you get to see them in a vulnerable state, so you relate to them more. You feel humanized, I guess, is like a word for it. I'm not sure if I'm getting my point across.
I think it gets the point very, very across because I think for most audience at home, I think they will get this more than I do because it's like, from what you're telling me, it's like the human element that's missing. Because like most, I think this is just general. Now I like how we're going to now deep into the haram as it is, the really terrible zone of it. But I feel like that's a good thing to talk about, which is that both lewds and hentais or like sexual fetishization of it, it just comes from a place of lust rather than, which we had the conversation with logical and emotional state of mind. It's like there's the party pooper, like the bang and an explosion, but there's no like work, like a momentum that goes up towards it. Which I had a conversation with my cameraman about it, like how a lot of like hentai and like pornography is like a lot of it is just baseless and flat, which I agree with you. It's like there's no soul. There's nothing to rile up with you for the character itself. You don't know their backstory, you don't know what's going on. I know for men, it's because we can get into it very quickly, but for women, it's like, I like the build-up. I think the joke is the most amongst guys to take a women to a date, which is like, please take me out for dinner first. If you're gonna do all the quote-unquote fantasies that you have, please take me out to dinner at least.
Yeah, so, I would say I'm more of a fan of a slow burn.
Yeah, correct. Well. It's like, take your course. Don't like, hey, like, I know you're getting into my pants, but please, for the love of God.
Can we like slow down?
Like take a 17 steps back before getting into the main course itself. Like, can you do that? Yeah, so I feel that. It's like, I feel like a lot of the human elements of it for a lot of fandoms, especially in my honest opinion, guys, that fandom. But ironically now that group of people for that category is now been dominated by women now. So we won at a cost. So we cannot use that like men are to be blamed, like women draw us to like, even for women to men, it's like that's not our department anymore. But I agree to your aspect is that we lost it. We have truly lost that level of like, there's work that needs to be done before the real deal comes in. And you feel like it's worth the wait because it's a journey that you can sit behind with it. And I feel like a lot of those people are just looking at very shallow creeks, not through the high waters itself. And I'm glad you were able to talk this out with me, especially.
I hope I articulated it well because I'm kind of sleepy, so I'm not sure if I.
Honestly, like I think you've done really wonderful and giving the audience what they need to hear and giving your side of the point. At the end of the day, I'd like to give the audience and for yourself also like a way to have a rational conversation, be it taboo or because it's super controversial. That's about things. So I'm really grateful, and I think both the audience also are very grateful about it. If you want to say any final shout out to the audience about your booth and who you are as an artist, you can go right ahead.
I want to shout out my homies at Jambu Studios, Elin Suraya, check her out, Is Bubbles, KK Ed, D-Uni, and me, Kue Bijan. So just go to Jambu Studios, that's JAMBOO Studios. We have a lot of original work that you might like.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for this interview.
I mean, if I were to date again, I just want, the only rule they need to do is cosplay as sniper.
So we have a guest here today. She's also part of the TF2 community that I've actually known her from that department as well. I think she can introduce herself to the audience.
Hi, my name is Natasha Carmilla, but people will know me as Medic or Midnight Hatter from Instagram, Midnight_Hatter. As you can see, I'm dressed as a medic for people to recognize me for almost, honestly, I've been cosplaying as Medic for 10 years now actually. So this is
correct. It's almost 10 years as it is.
Yeah, going to be 10 years in December 27 actually. It's like basically the same day I met my partner in crime and companion, like my longtime companion, Stanley So, the sniper.
All within the fandom and the community itself.
Yeah, we can try with the longest fandom I've been in TF2. Because it would be, I wouldn't say weird or unfair to talk about Resident Evil, well, just as my go-to.
As medic as it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable. So which of the 3 questions of topics you want to go for?
We can try with the uncomfortable one first.
Okay, we're right straight into the hellfire, all right.
Yeah.
Since we're going with the topic that we just discussed about it just now, so, okay, within the fandoms to fandoms, right, there is that level of like, how to say, uncertainty of like, okay, my honest opinion about TF2, and this is coming from every side of the coin now, especially.
You understand?
I think you kind of get like there's like a community for TF2 fans are a bit more hardcore with their like the hate and the
I've seen the hate, but even though I don't see it on my dash, but I've seen the hate I hear from other people in their posts. So it's like
exactly.
I find it like not just unfair, but like you don't have like this is like they are to each their own.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like now, back then, like this is like before the reveal in the comic. People, I'm talking about in the shipping related, is regarding our Scout and Spy. Because people joke back then how Scout is Spy's son.
Yeah.
And then there was of course shipping art, so that one's like okay, it's like cool and all. And again, this is the jokes before the reveal in the comics. But once the comic came out, there's already like backlash against the artists and then people who kind of ship it, especially just shippers in general. Like because understandable, like it is like not just incest, but like the way
bunch of things as well under one
yes.
group, yeah.
But again, this is just like God knows how many years when the game came out, like and this comic is like not really interconnected with the game itself because people have been questioning about where the blues come from, the things and that, like there's still things that we don't know how to question about. Like so, being Scout revealed to be Spy's son is like
it was kind of a shocker to a lot of people. As well. Yeah,
it's like a oh my god, and then it was like kind of obvious, but it's just a matter of the hate towards the shippers. Like because understandable, like yes,
this is
but like
already
is how you approach the subject. Like yes,
exactly.
the word pro shipper is like kind of like bounce here and there. I don't to go and delve into the topic because people might
misinterpret it.
Yes, and also I'm not saying this in the line of hate. It's more like the word is kind of like bounced around. You don't know like a proper definition. Yes, it is. Yes, it may be bad, but it's a matter of how you approach the subject. Like it's like reading the banned books like the America has been doing. So it's like something how you devolve or like look into the topick. So such as like the scout and spy thing, yes, you can still see them as the father and son thing. But I wonder like when you do fan art, that one, okay, understandable, it's very weird or something.
Correct.
But I was like wondering, what about like, ships of the spy scout ship of if they're OCs, like they're not related, like maybe they are different ethnicity or different gender, that kind of thing. So it's like,
correct.
what about the spy scout ships of OCs, not the canon? It's like, it's unfair that yes, it is fiction, but remember, it is, again, fiction, not real life. And there was a line that I read, like, this is fiction, they are just toys. You can play around with them. They are not real. They do not have emotions.
Or they can think for themselves, especially in that regards.
So I mean, yes, we create our own cake hands. We create our own like original characters. So
so it's like people who play The Sims, they can make whatever characters that you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I mean, if you can make this one woman in The Sims have sex with multiple men, no one bats an eye.
Go right ahead. Do whatever makes you feel good. Like, I don't know, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
But I agree. That's the thing, because we just recently had a topic about like the whole. I had a topic with another fan of my character, because as fans of the Disco Elysium community, is that there's always an intuition of like both me and the male character, that my other character that I'm friends with in the game, which is Kim Kasaragi. They keep thinking that we're both technically gays because the way men show affection to each other is not intimate. It's just because we have a thing even in Bangladesh and like in India and also like Saudi Arabia countries, men hold each other's hands. Like like a sign of comfort at the end of the day. Like, I'm protecting you.
Sometimes I feel like they forgot about platonic male friendship. Like,
exactly.
I'm fine with like, you can explore being a romantic, you can be like platonic or even familiar, but like you have to remember there's like more than just romantic. Yes, even in the game, it's mostly consists of men. You gotta know that even in real life, there's going to be somewhat like that as well. There's going to be familiar, there's going to be romantic, there's going to be platonic as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't bat an eye on the female ones, but when like female, they don't really get enough attention maybe, or maybe it's like a different kind of reaction compared to male, because male relationships says more than just a female.
Yeah, exactly. That's why like I kind of believe that, because I was having a conversation with one of the fans, especially in that department, because I was saying that like I don't like how women sees men thinking that every man who's close with each other are considered like they're intimate with each other. Like no, like there's like dudes everywhere, and I'm friends with my cameraman especially for quite some time.
I've seen the friendship between like most of my male companions. Yeah, like even though it's not like as close, but it's like I can see the friendship between them, like how they
work it out and how they make things work. That's why I was like, I don't like the way fandom. I'm not putting fingers, but I don't like it where they're just.
It's like how you only see like straight eye, like people will say like in black and white, but I feel like there's always that gray line that I want to just focus on, because like there's no good or bad genre in separate. It's like a segregation kind.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you have to see the gray line between it, than just more than what you kind of see and what you kind of like
what
do.
You can see in the background as well, because like there's a reason law was created, that you need to put effort into like this. Like I think that as fans, like we put an effort to like learn about the characters.
That also just kind of like not just to understand, but to like see how and why the creators did this.
Intended to making it this way.
It's not just because we're doing this for the fans and all. Like no, sometimes it may be think of we go with the storyline, we go with what the characters are, than just how they are doing when they created it. So yeah,
exactly, because I do feel like eventually like a lot of fans they got lost in their own bluntly to put it, their own degeneracy.
That like, one like to each their own, but it's like how like this is to their own, but if you want to share it because you want to
because it's unfair.
you are an artist, or just anyone in general just want to show it to the world because, hey, I like this, not just because I am discussing or anything, but because this is how I view it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and yes, this means you are kind of be not really open, but like you are going to be facing critics. Yes. So, it's how you kind of find the people who kind of either shares it or it's be like, I never thought of it, but
Mixed opinions.
yeah, but it's like I might get around, but who knows? Either I like it or I don't approve of it. But you do you, I do me. It's like
Yeah,
that, it's like
agree
that-
to disagree.
yeah,
exactly.
it's like especially with the king thing. Like your king is my king.
Yeah,
that kind of
it's
thing.
like, oh, yeah, we don't king shame here, so
Yeah,
we're all free
yeah.
people here to decide.
yeah. It's just like the same thing. It's like you do you, I do me, and same like between like the sex and the normal king. Yeah, you know?
Like for me, that's why I always believe that, like, because at the end of the day, like, because what I had that really good topic with the another fan earlier, I really agree that because like it comes to a point where I don't want people younger than us, especially sees us like as object, because because your fandom now brainwashing you, thinking like, oh, they're too-
Sometimes I feel like fandom, like the newer generation
fandoms.
kind of like just only see but never like probably develop. It's like when you read a book, you just don't just only read the line. You just kind of wonder why this character is just doing this, why they're saying this, like, to either to themselves or to another person, or for the story and to go on, like how exactly. So it's just not just reading wise. Sometimes you just have to think.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that needs to appear for them. I think it'll take time. Time goes by. They'll eventually learn about it.
Yeah, even the young age, it may not click to them yet, but when they're older or if they have like seen it,
sense of maturity yet, then they'll start to see it in the full.
Yeah, sometimes it's like I have to remember. I may be a bit annoyed by what they're saying, but I have to remember.
I was once that person too.
That also because maybe they are in a different environment that I was to see it. So yeah.
That's why I believe like to in a certain pedigree and age, you'll do come to that eventually.
Yeah, it's very hard to like approach this topic without thinking I'm accusing, that I'm talking to somebody. Like I don't think I'm accusing you. I'm just talking about what I view from what I've seen from how many years I've been in the fandom, for example.
True.
So like it's just I want to see your opinion as well, not just like I'm telling you of my thoughts. Like I want to hear your opinion as well, like how.
That's why I feel like as time goes by, people will start to develop like this mentality of like, I need to like be diverse about what I think about, especially with people. Yeah. So like at least like I'm not listening to an echo chamber of myself like, oh, this is right, this is right, this is wrong.
Yeah.
This is
Sometimes
right.
I just like to like separate because like I know people are kind of like delulu, but like I just have to remember this is fiction. Fiction does not like help me with the things I'm going through, but it just helps me ease the problems I'm going through. So like with favorite characters and all, yes, that's kind of thing. But like having like using as a crutch might be something that you have to talk to yourself about it, or somebody who views it differently, like, darling, this is not gonna help you.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that that's like the one beautiful part. I'm glad you're telling me this because I feel like it comes to a point in life where it's like I as much as like another person that makes like degeneracy and a bunch of things getting jumbled into
especially with cosplaying. I mean, even though I've cosplayed as medic for 10 years now and people are fans of me, there are still going to be people who kind of views me as just the medic itself, like as if I am the medic, but they have to remember that
I'm still human at the end of the day.
Yeah, and also I'm just dealing with problems that I don't tell to just everyone in the world. Like my dad passed away back in September, so I was like, it took me only a few days to just mention to my Instagram story that underneath the person I'm cosplaying, I'm a girl who was in pain and to deal with my dad's passing because of brain cancer.
Understandable. I'm really sorry to hear that, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I think this is like a perfect segue, if you don't mind me interjecting. Because I think this is like a great way to now go to the emotional questions, which I feel like, because I've heard about you before, and friends of mine are friends of yours actually, so my world is really small. So I'm kind of like feel like I'm not surprised honestly, because I've heard that you found your partner in the same group as well.
It was just a coincidence. Like it was when me and my little sister, we were just gonna go back in. At the same time, he was heading out looking for his family. Like he was dressed as a scout. I was like I got my old when I got my medic cosplay. This is my second coat, but so it's like it just happened, and then 10 years along the line, here we are still like back in like we were friends, but back in 2019 we actually dated. But last year,
nice.
yeah, because like he was one of those few people that I kind of like trusted. So it's like for me to just tell him that I like him, and then wondered like, do you think there's like a
catalyst to
Yeah,
to make it something real.
yeah, and then we kind of did in 2019. So it lasted us until 2023 last year due to like cultural reasons, because he's Chinese, I'm Malay. So it's like we know that the relationship was getting kind of serious, but there's something that both of us cannot mesh together like
easily as it is.
Yeah, so especially with point of views like
religion-wise and everything.
that,
and
also just like how we handle things. Like I'm so scrambled, like so stressed out, and I don't know how to like convey things, while he was able to like realize that I was trying to say and be like, it's this house, and it's like there are things that kind of clicks and things that just doesn't click. So I was just glad that even though we ended our relationship last year and just kind of like
it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, but I'm still glad that
you tried.
Yeah, but I'm still glad that he and I are still back to being friends, and we can still continue to be the medic sniper duo.
That's beautiful, man. That's really, really beautiful. Like, because I'll be honest, in my own personal life, I used to be in a relationship as well. My partner was Chinese, I'm Malay. So ironic, because I thought you're Chinese.
Yeah, I know, the face kind of like gets
and then people think I'm Chinese, and I'm like, no, I'm Malay. I agree. It's like it's a challenge of its own, and I think that's a beautiful part in it. It's like it made things not work, but you can still like shake our differences into it. That's amazing, because the segue to this question is because like I would like to ask this really cool question, because since you found it was like, how do you feel like for fans or within their own fandom allowing themselves to find someone within it, like able to make blossoming into like relationships and such?
To be honest, it's not just because of the fandom wise, but it's because of how we interacted with Bois. I just like not just because we were cosplaying as just the characters from the same game, but it's like how we click with each other, why our friendship still goes on.
Strong.
Yeah, like even though like the friends that I've made online is like never really like very close kind. Like I'm friends with like my friend Nakashima, like after 7 to 8 years now. But it's like how we connect, how we just like approach each other, like especially with just topics that we just never talk with anyone, but it's just I can just talk like with him, like something we've going through together, but it's like how we view it differently, like with what's going on with the economy, for example. It's like I view this, he view that, but no like fight or anything. It's just like
it's a journey of its own. That's why I always feel that like my fandoms is not just like a one-stop shop where you say, I'll talk about the things that I love, but like,
sometimes that's why it's like friends I've made, it's not because I don't want to be just more than like what I don't know much about people than just the interests we have together. Like I want to know more than just like,
the surface level of things.
Like
exactly.
what are their thoughts? What is like I
what
know.
do you think about like how's your day and such and those things. Like we may have the same interest, but I would like it better that like like if you're willing to put in the elbow and grease for it, then fuck it, why not? Like why don't we just go further? Like actually do something about it. I'm a firm believer on that kind of things, because it's a rare commodity in sight, especially nowadays where everyone is like, I know you for one thing and one thing only. It's like kind of like
that's how it's like trying to remember who is who, that kind of thing. It's just like, you are cosplaying as this, okay, but I might forget.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like I don't mind it, but at the same time, it's like it's now becoming a problem where you have to juggle between who do I say, who do I talk to, who do I do this and that, blah, blah, blah.
It's like now I can now know who you are than just like a guy running a booth or just interviewing me. Like
exactly. It's like it gives that level of connection that I think many people
that kind
lack.
of thing,
So I despise it. I truly despise it, but I cherish the idea of like someone actually making an effort to just like show themselves, make themselves be more apparent about what they are, who they are as a person, and they have, because I believe that as a TF2 fan and long time TF2 fan since the early 2000s, I couldn't afford it. Obviously, no one can afford the orange box collection.
Until it came out for free.
That was where the floodgates opened. That should not have that gate should never ever been for free. The one thing I would say that personally I agree with you. One thing is that I do hope to an extent that the community. I think most fandoms need to realize is that like not everyone is like shallow creep. You don't have to like one game and that one game only.
Yeah.
I feel like I think like for the both of us, ironically enough, we both like Team Fortress 2 and Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Because I was already a long time big nerd about that shit. And then for TF2, it's like I was really into it because I'll be honest, the as much as I like making fun of the fans, I'm also the idiot, so the big part of it. It's like, they're the reason why I'm into it. If it wasn't for them, I would not be here.
Yeah, that's true. It's like if it weren't for not just a fandom, but the people that I've met along the way, I wouldn't be continuous medic. Like I would also have to give credit to my friend Stanley because he was the one who kind of like approached me. Yeah, in the message, like he was telling me, oh, I'm gonna go as snipe or scout for the convention. Are you gonna come? I was like, yeah.
Fuck it, let's give it a shot. Like, what harm can he do at this point?
And then like here I am, and then I got people telling me they are a fan of me. I got people saying they cosplay because of me. Like,
yeah, you became an icon. Like, I'll be very honest. like in my honest opinion, because this is me from an outsider. I've seen you cosplay as Medic. I was too afraid to approach you. Actually, I was very, very young, and I was like, my God, I love it as a TF2 community in Malaysia because we are already an obscure bunch.
Yeah,
there is no
that's why
bloody way we can find them.
I continue not because this is my only outfit I can afford, but it's like people still enjoy the game. So I was like, I'll continue not just because for me, but for others as well. Because I mean, yeah, you've seen other games, but it's like you see so many of them, like having a white coat on, I just stand out among the sea of like cosplayers of the games and anime that you see just here. But yeah,
there's a mountain of them as we're going
that's
by.
Why it's like I continue not just for me but for the people as well. And when you say that I'm an icon, I couldn't believe it. Like I'm just a girl just loving Medic.
As a guy that's been watching everything from the sidelines, including like how I met. Like even your friends as well, like this part of the gun community as well and everything. Even for me, I was like so surprised. Like, man, I'm missing out in the world if I don't say anything. But at the same time, like I'm just like googling. It's like, my God, they do exist. These people exist.
It's like again a surprise. Like I just continue, and then more people just come in. Like I just somehow random stumble upon them. Like, and then they also kind of like join in. Like I never say anything to jump. It's like they just join in. I'm like, oh, it's a big community. Like it's like
I think you pretty much kickstart the whole thing, especially.
To be honest, I'm not the one who kind of started cosplaying CF2. It was a couple of brothers, a medic and a soldier. He's the one who one of the brothers actually cosplay is Rasmus now, but back then he was the soldier. So it was back then when I started cosplay, I was actually the sniper. Actually, my first cosplay was sniper. So when I first met them, it was soldier and medic. Because of them, I was like, okay, I'll continue cosplay TF2. Like I was sniper, then I was scout, then I became medic. Yeah, I did spy.
Go in sequence as it is like the character that I'm very familiar with to something I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, it's like I went from. Like I may not be the first, but like I continue on, and that's when I met other people cosplaying as TF2, but then also more people with the fandom, that kind of thing. So to hear that I'm an icon, that is quite something.
You're, in my honest eyes, you're quite a legend. Like because your costume alone and a bunch of the community, especially, I think a lot of them has like put a huge respect on you. Because I feel even for me as an outsider as well, looking from this is like this is quite an honorable thing. Like even for me, like getting to finally talk to you because I've seen you always on the sideline, but I've never approached you because I worry like this lady is too famous. I have no daring.
I never view myself as famous. Like I know that, like once I put on the coat, people will recognize me. But when I'm out, out of outfit, it's like I just blend in. Like no, it's like Super Clark, Clark Kent and Superman.
It's like, oh, there's the glasses now. Now no one knows who that guy is.
So, like there was only this one convention, like very small. I attended at Wangsa Walk. I was like, okay, I just want to go just check it out, have fun, like just outdoor. I had a few people look at me and be like, you look familiar. Like So when I just brought my costume, I'd be like, oh, you mean like this? He was like, oh yeah, you're her. So it's like very surprised. Like I even brought Archimedes during that time. So yeah.
I remember that one time they actually brought Archimedes as well, and
Oh,
I was
that
like,
was a-
and I saw the bird. One of my friends was a massive nerd as well. He's my high school friend of mine, and he was like screaming at me like, "What? Look, she has Archimedes. Where? It's like, what do you mean Archimedes? You know that bird is the rarest thing in the fandom itself." It's like, yeah, look at that.
I got the official plush itself as a birthday gift.
And then I saw, I was like, Archimedes?
I only brought him out once or twice. Only like one time for a convention somewhere at the Man Mall, like how many years ago? Like he had me go along, so I was like, okay.
Luck has happened, and you got the bird as it is. But
Like I said, I asked my dad to get me that as a birthday present. He did it.
It's like miracles have been made today. That's extremely beautiful. Like I'm glad that to see that like there are people out there who's really, how to say, very vested into not just the community, the fandom itself, like the base surface level, but more into it, like really caring for the people behind it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that's a food for thought that a lot of people I don't think really care
I try
about.
to be like, just be a decent good person. I know that being negative and all is like kind of like quicker to like just get them to stop, but like sometimes it's just
It's best to actually put some thought into it, like some soul into the relationship, especially.
Yeah, I just want to be like, you say I'm an icon. I don't like. I still
Don't feel that way.
Yeah, like I don't like. It's not like the ego may be boosting, but like internally, yes. But like I still couldn't believe that you saying being an icon, I saying that I am their biggest inspiration. That kind of thing. It's like it's like very different to hear in person or me. Because I rarely hear that.
It's a compliment that you don't. A lot of us
like
don't take compliments like this very
like
often.
I don't even get it even when I was in Tumblr at all, because like I still run a Tumblr blog, but I've never like had people tell me like in the inbox saying I am your fan, I love your work, because because most of my stuff of content related was gifts of the videos that people have me in, so it's like
correct,
I really get low notes, so it's like okay lah. I mean, I understand maybe because it ain't Malaysia, it is like a broader
game, especially. And obviously it's more popular in the States.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like maybe because I'm not one of those people who draws the TF2 art. So it's like I thought maybe gift work, of course, you can work, but
it blew up.
The only thing that kind of close to blow was the ship gift that I did of when me and Stanley were dating. Like when we started dating, I had Izumi do a shot of us, like we were going to kiss, but it's like nah, and walked away from Sniper. People were like freaking out. But with the recent ones I did, very very. So I was like,
it was in the moment of it.
That was like how many years ago, but now it's like very low notes. But I was like, whatever, I still make the gifts because I want to show the people.
Yeah, it feels good, fun to do it. Why the hell not? But
at least Instagram is doing well. Who knows?
I do believe that, like, for your content wise and everything, I think you have a lot going through as it is. Like, I feel that alone is a spirit of its own, and as much as I'm boasting you as who you are.
I'm not like a content creator kind, so it's like I just post what I could and just like
do what you can.
Yeah, I just want to do it because I want to share it and be like, here what I made. Hope you enjoy it. So just like maybe just share with your friends. Or it just feels so weird. Like I'm the one that doesn't get the recognition, especially like back then. Like people would say I'm in the shadows, or just I don't get the kind of grace or the kind of like skills or something to be, but just to hear that what I just do because I don't ask for anything, I'm not asking for anything, it just kind of warms my heart. Like if you want to approach me, that's fine, I accept that, but it's just the strangers that I don't know and also creeps, obviously. So
obviously there's bound to be them anyway to begin with. But I think for me it's like more of a, how to say, like out of respect. Admiration and out of respect, because I don't want to be, like as you said, a creep. Because I know that people, even just me, like,
especially
just like googling for 5 minutes to be like, oh, I need to go now.
Yeah, especially me being as a female, and because most of the
males are kind of like, you know what? Yeah, that's totally respectable. That's why, like, I try my absolute best to be, how to say, keep my boundaries and also be respectable.
That's why I'm glad that the male friends I have are like
pretty cool. Very
respectful, and not
it.
because I'm a girl, but because I just I bounce with them, like that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Like if you can bounce out of me, I can bounce off of you. It's like that's how bros work, especially in that
Yeah.
situation.
Just
Yeah, dudes being dudes at the end of the day, and I feel
Yeah.
like anyone can be a dude with the group. And I
Yeah.
think that's now it will perfectly segues into the best ending to the logical question is that. Do you think that like as fandom grows by, like boundaries and things starts to like completely like disappear?
Yeah, I
so
feel like the need for boundaries needs to come back, but not just because I'm putting this up, but because your kind of approach to this is not worth for my mental and physical sanity. Like I'm doing this for fun, not just because I want to show that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
so
exactly,
it's like
yeah.
you do your own thing,
I do my own thing,
So
yeah.
you don't need to like send harsh words or yell at me just because what I've shared or what I've showed is like saying is directed to you. No, this is my point of view. So it's like just telling all this is like I'm internally I'm afraid that again people think I'm putting on the wrong foot, but no, I'm just telling what I've seen.
this is my safe space that I want to create.
Yeah, I'm willing to tell this, even though there might be one or two people
That's gonna obviously
Yeah.
not get the message across to them.
that
So
or just automatically saying I hate that bitch now.
it's like no, that disclaimer is not.
Yeah.
She's allowed to express her own feelings and decide how
Yeah.
she wants to think.
Yeah, and because I'm an introvert, so it's like
Yeah, I get you.
I overthink too much. It's like having the energy for specific people. So it's like me, like you think you won't believe it. You think I'm not an introvert the way I'm talking to you, or just
Yeah.
my friends. But it's like it's how at ease I am.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't have like my energy does never waver. So it's like
Yeah, exactly.
But if people just kind of like convo that I don't know how to approach, or just like a convo that you only talk about, but I have nothing. Yeah,
No,
I'm just
obviously,
like.
we're gonna like this is gonna be quick and done and bounce
Yeah,
as it is.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what you want me to do anyway? Like you want me to listen? I mean,
And fine by
okay.
me, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
But I think for your situation, I feel like that's a great way of thinking about it because I feel like as boundaries starts opening up and much more people are
Yeah.
getting much more understanding nowadays, especially.
Yeah.
I feel like people can truly become more connected.
yeah,
much
like
better in a way.
like again, I'm fine that you want to do this and all, but you have to remember, you think it's good, but you have to think of what
Be considerate of others.
Yeah, like how comfortable I am as well. Like maybe if I were to say I want to do a shipping pick or something, I'll do it with people I'm comfortable.
Very much comfortable
and
with.
also they are comfortable. Like I just had
What my preference are. Exactly.
yeah, like let's say because I can't do with standing up because I don't want people. He said he doesn't want people to think we're dating still. Or all. So it's like okay, I have a friend who's costuming a sniper. So like just do a couple of. I had him do a couple of shape picks for me. Just nothing like intimate or anything. Just that feels like that you can feel like that tension or in that kind of like not just sexual but more like as a red against blue kind of thing. So yeah.
Like Mr.
Like
and
you-
Mrs. Smith.
Yeah,
kind of
but you can
dynamics.
feel like you can just view it either way. Like you can view it like as a shape thing, you can view it as I dominated you.
whatever their mindset is.
Yeah, that's why. So it's like it's a matter of like not just for I want to do this, but it's to see if they want to be comfortable to do that with me as well. Not just for the sake of it, but because I view you as someone I want to try doing it with.
I just
Yeah.
like to try to do the cosplay and stuff,
Yeah,
especially in that
yeah.
regards. Yeah, I get
I
you.
like doing solo. Like if I were to just being medic alone, like there's no one. Like if I hadn't had my companion, I don't know where I'd be. Like kind of like now, honestly. Like had I not had my little sister not suggested we go back inside and we not just met at the right time, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Like that's the thing. I think why we're going to this question is that this allows like certain boundaries to be pushed and some to be like reinforced even harder now, which is allowing you to exploit and allowing you to like really hone down like what exactly you're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think that's great because without it, I think people will eventually start to realize that this kind of things is like going to set a very unsavory tone, especially with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. I'm glad that this kind of mindset is now more apparent because I was really worried because like I was like I can't approach this person already and I'm asking this really feathering the line of this kind of question that is not safe for a lot of people.
I mean, when you sit in a room like alone with your thoughts, it's just a matter of that you ask yourself this kind of thing, like how this and that. And because I'm a bookworm as well, so So
exactly. Like for me, I may not be a huge bookworm myself, but I do enjoy like literatures that I actually can get behind with.
Yeah.
But there's some that I can believe that like life advice, some people that I met along the way can really shape the way I am, who I am now. So I'm really grateful to hear that, and I feel like even in all honesty, like I really want to play as my heavy because. Like for me, my biggest gripe is that I don't have medic. My ship is still gonna be heavy and medic because you can say all you want, but heavy needs medic because he's a dumb idiot. He's gonna put himself out in the middle of the fire just so he can like, hey, I'm gonna do the support now. Back me up, boys. And then he goes out alone. 17 rockets coming to you, grenades and stickies and everything. It's like so heavy. How do you survive? I did. I'm everywhere but there. And now I'm at respawn room and coming out dead again because the scout was and the spy is camping in the spawn room.
I mean, heavy end medics, the ship was my first one when I got into Defender, but later on it was like, I'm more of a sniper spy, medic spy, the medic sniper and the medic sniper one, the support sandwich itself. So it's like, within the source, I'm just more of a fan because like, the support just dealing with the nuisance of others.
I see. Like for me, like I do believe that because like as a friend of mine who is a big heavies both medic and another friend of mine, she's a big sniper fan. So it's like she's always saying that, can you like for once don't get into battle that you cannot win? And I look at her like, hey, if heavy doesn't come in, then who will? And plus heavy with medic can conquer everything once the Uber's on.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a matter of like just turn on the Uber and then I'm ready.
Because sniper is on. That's why.
Hey, I'm not here to judge. Everyone has their own preference. So
I mean that's why me and Sunny are just like dating because like.
Yeah, so I'm not too surprised by the outcome of the situation. I was like, hey, he's my type, it's just so you know.
That's
he's
why.
my type. Like I said, no judge because everyone is there.
I mean, if I were to date again, I just want. The only rule they need to do is cosplay as sniper.
You heard that, people. You heard it directly from her mouth. I'm not saying anything. I'm still a heavy's main. I'm not gonna be sniper because I love heavy. Heavy is my guy, and I always be him because he's the reason why I got it. My playstyle is I get in, I do my job. If I die, that's the end of it. It's okay. I got to do what I gotta do as a heavy. It's great finally to like get to know you, especially, and I'm really appreciative of all the questions and answers that you give me.
I'm glad you tried to interview me. I mean, you say you want to do it. I was like, okay, why not?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting it. I was really hoping, but I was like ready for that. Like, no, I don't have the time, that kind of thing, blah blah blah. And I was like, it's okay. I know who you are, so I'll try my best next time, maybe. I
don't do much in my outdoor, like my personal life. Like most of the time right now is working since bills.
Exactly.
So doing this is like a changer, like a breath of fresh air. People has been having me in their videos, so I was like, this is like I'm used to it. So like, being interviewed, why not? If you want me back in another interview, I'm always open for it.
I'll be glad. Definitely be glad. And do you want to tell anything to the audience about yourself?
How to say it? What to say? Yes, I'm 27. I'm Malay. I have 17 cats at home. Yes, I picked up from my mom, and she's a more cat lover than I do. And here's a quote that Stanley would tell me when I said, "Give me the cat." Woman, you have 20 plus cats at home. Correction, sir. 17. Doesn't matter.
Thank you so much for coming and letting me interview you. I feel like the audience have like really get to know you as it is. I feel like a lot of them are fans of you, and I feel like you finally get to see the side of you that they don't think they have seen it before. It's an honor. It's a huge honor.
Can I have one thing to say for the camera?
Yeah, go ahead.
Folks, stay safe, stay hydrated, and please don't be a douche, okay?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Finally, I get to meet the medic. There's so many. Oh, it feels so good.
Done already, yeah.
Yeah, done.
Oh my god.
Wow, that cross is done already.
Kraus is my favorite, by the way.
Nice.
Okay, compared to last time I do the commissions.
I'm a real client, I've paid my bills, and I have the right to use the karaoke machine.
The air is thick
Oh god.
with anticipation.
Actually, I'm kind of glad to see what this is going to be like with a fail.
I would often go there to the tiny church there.
This sounds like someone who's...
You're all alone.
Because at least I can say the truth.
Oh.
And you guys
God.
can't confront me about one thing, really. Tell it to my face, man. Hello guys, my name is Rina. I'm a cosplayer from Malaysia. So I'm also thankful to be here today, and I'm very interested in the conversation we're about to have.
So I think you got like the main topic already. So I think you got like the main idea of what's going on.
Yeah. For this specific fandom, I would say it is emotionally wise, it's a very heartfelt film. And it has like great inspiration from biblical like type of stories, you know.
Okay.
And the fact that they are able to vamp it up into making their own way, putting it in like a animation style, you know. And let me just repeat, like this is a 18 plus like animation.
Okay.
So children
this
are
is-
not supposed to watch this. Yeah.
Well, if there is watching, so we had to disclaim it to them. But
That's
you
true.
don't have to reveal the name.
Of course not. Of course
For
not.
reason.
I love to play a guessing game with like the viewers. You know, you guys will figure it out. I'm pretty sure you will, because as we unveil this, so the emotional aspect of this is that it's very. It has very strong emotions in terms of like leadership, finding one's true self, ideas. As well as like other than a person's identity, it's also knowing like what is truly wrong and what is truly right. Because sometimes what you believe that can be right can mean another to another person.
True,
right?
true.
So there is the emotional side of like the gray. It's the gray line. You can't see it. You know.
I see.
Yeah. So a lot of happy, a lot of sad, a lot of sadness that is trying to cover up for being happy, you know. So a lot of the emotional roller coaster. But at the end of the day, I would say that to the viewers, you will feel very attached to whoever you're watching as, you know. You might be attached to maybe person A or maybe person B, you know, not quite valuable to the whole story, but played a really huge part at the end, and that was a shocker. So
This okay, I'll be honest. This feels familiar because I work in that industry.
okay.
I've known a few contacts in the games because I don't want to say it on camera. I think I'm gonna have to make my editor to blur it out, which
Okay, sure, no problem.
which I am a.
What the heck?
So for those degenerates that run that for their games, and I know who you are because we've seen everyone downloading them from the community itself. I get what you mean because the game sounds familiar because I worked with a few of them before. So
Am I actually talking about a game?
I don't know. We're just giving them a guess. So
You just gave it away, guys. I also
didn't-
kind of gave it away.
yeah, I mean we didn't say the name. That's the
That's
best.
true,
Right?
that's true.
There's a bajillion of them, so they're gonna have to figure out which is that.
But guys, trust me. Don't trust me. Don't trust him, actually. Don't trust him. All right.
What did
so,
I do?
moving on. Second
Okay,
question to this is. Okay, logic.
Yeah,
Let's go for
logic.
logical.
So in this sense, since we're in this topic, since you put it straight into the flames, so I'm gonna ask the more into that now. So in that sense, it's like, do you think that majority of the communities and the fans that you have currently right now, especially with the cosplay scenes is going on, like, do you think that it will give it a chance for like, let's say the fans to see you in like maybe into like other categories and fields of its own? Will you like entertain the idea for the fans, or will you prefer that like this is I like to be behind just as a picture, the photographer, as a model, and that's about it.
So I have actually, in the beginning, wanted to just venture on my own and see what works for me. And it took a while to figure out like what works and what doesn't. And eventually, on the recent years, I managed to find like, in a sense, my identity.
Yeah.
And like what type of styles I look good in or what I can go for. So from learning through that, I was a little bit hesitant in taking like offer requests from fans
Peoples
and
and
friends.
such.
Yeah. And it was I was just thinking to myself like, okay, they tell me this, but I'm not sure if I look good in this, you know?
Because it's just words at the end of
Yeah,
the day.
they are just words at the end, and it does not reflect upon like whether or not can I actually look that
Yeah, exactly.
like that at the end of the day, right? Will I be able to pay it homage, you know, to that specific style? But I was like that for about 2-3 years, and eventually, as I grew more towards the career I'm in, eventually I learned that sometimes taking people's requests or in a sense advice can actually be a good thing. So eventually I did take one person's advice. Okay, she's my best friend. I love her too much. I took it. I did it. Even though it was something that I felt like I did not fit at all. But when I got into that and when I did like the outfit she chose, it was like a 360 turn for me. I didn't realize I would be able to, you know, pull it off as well as people expected. Yeah. So, like for example, people's expectancy is here. Mine is here. For myself, by the way.
Okay.
But the fact that it was raised 2 bars
Higher than usual.
than what usual, then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because
let's
I think
start.
because most fans by default they're just like, because they see their characters, they see
Yeah.
someone that they like, they're
Yeah.
just assuming that, oh, I have a certain expectations of you now, and I hope that you can meet those expectations. I'm like, I'm not your girlfriend or boyfriend.
True. That
Like,
is true. Why do we have to meet your set expectation, right? That's
Yeah.
most of the questions cosplay do get. I would say how I would interpret it is that rather than to meet your fans' expectation, you also need to consider what if someone from the company do actually see your work. What if they actually take notice of the work you put in and put the expectancy of that character to its highest regard? And sometimes that usually pays off, and it's like 1 in a million chance. However, I've seen time and time again other cosplayers, they did their absolute 110%. They make the outfit look so spectacular, and yeah, they do get noticed, and they do how to say, they did it out of love and respect for that specific character.
Yeah.
And because of that, of all their hard work, like the people saw it and they like it, they love it. And I would say that even like we don't actually need to meet everyone's expectation. But at the same time, we also need to know what is the expectation we set for ourselves.
Yeah, it's a boundary that
Yeah.
we make,
Yes.
that we set upon with our fans and ourselves,
Yep.
especially in that regards.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's very, how to say, that's pretty respectable in a way, because it allows you to like just be whatever you want to be, because this is something that you chased, but not what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So you're not doing for not just for them, but you're doing it for the sake, like, 'cause I love the passion. This is my thing.
Yeah.
I don't want people to be like, hey, you know you should do. No. That's yours. If you want it, you do it your way. I do my own way, how I want it to do. Yeah, so I feel like that's a very good boundary to set, because especially with a lot of how fans nowadays are turning out to be, it's like kind of like a needed rule and guide just to allow to make them understand like this is not my thing, but I'm open to suggestions. Whether I've accepted or not, that's my own thing. But I completely agree that this is not for everyone. Especially, it's like it's down to you at the end of the day, because you're the one they're making the content, not them. So they have no right to like just simply just made up the rules because I'm a paying customer, sure, and I can choose to reject as a selling business as well.
Yeah, exactly like what you said right there. And with that boundary made, there's also like there's something you should also know, like between like a consumer and a person who's selling the consumer's product, is that like there is a set of boundaries that should be met from both the seller and the consumer, and that boundary should not be crossed by any means necessary if you want to stay professional. I'm pretty sure you have met that requirement before, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I think it's a common courtesy, is what I would call it. But I think it's something that I feel like eventually people will start to like roll back again.
Yes, true. The line can vary. It blurs sometimes because sometimes the people, like for example, me as a cosplayer, I am the seller, right? Sometimes the people in front of me could my consumers could be my friends. It could be people who I've known for years, and sometimes that line is a little bit blurred, you know.
It gets a little blurry.
Yeah, it gets a little blurry.
Yeah.
Because like, sorry, my train of thought just got lost.
It's okay. It's okay. We are still in a convention.
Yeah,
at the
I'm
end
sorry,
of the day.
guys. Okay, it gets blurry because like you have a network or you have a tie towards that person, like your friend, your family, whoever it is.
Yeah.
And like maybe your fans may look at it like, oh, I want to have that form of connection with them. Like I want that same form of connection. You still can, but know the boundary. Know what the cosplayer boundary is. You know what your boundary is. Don't ever cross it. If you want to keep a respectful, professional friendship, I've seen a lot of like problems occurring whereby your fans become your friends, and they have yet again set of expectations for you, set of motives they have for you, and like it gets really messy.
It gets very convoluted already at that point. Yeah, I agree. I think that's where the stage where I think for a lot of people, and especially for cosplayers, it's a ground where I feel like a lot of them don't feel comfortable anymore regarding about it.
And that's also because of that, like few of them will then slowly just drop out of the scene because they don't know how to overcome the problem, or how to face it, you know.
They feel alone.
They feel alone, they feel alone in those kind of situations. Like there's no one they can trust.
True.
And even if they trust,
you not sure their motives are.
The motives.
Yeah, you're not sure it's actually like a good intention or a really terrible intention.
Yeah.
I think we can like segue this now to the more uncomfortable one, which I think this is a good one because now we can go to the meat and potatoes. Now the more vile part of the community, especially, which I think you're already very aware how the cosplay community is, and especially with fans who can be a little bit or not on the safe side. I think he also feels the same. Like I still like seeing some of the people there. I feel like you have seen yourself like some of the more not very savory kind of people. Yeah. So, and especially how they talk, it doesn't help it as well.
So I view this last part of the community in two ways. One is they are who they are. Nothing you say will change. You'll continue being like this for the rest of our lives. And there's only so much we can do as human beings. And the community can only do so much as human beings as well.
Correct.
Right? But there's also the right way to approach this and the wrong way to approach this.
Exactly.
Right? The other side is these people are, in a sense, misunderstood.
True. Very true.
They seem weird, they speak weird, they might have some problem.
They might be creepy and such.
They may be creepy in like the way they act, the talk, or whatever it might be. They can also still be misunderstood. Why? Because when you actually take the time to take the effort to learn and to know them, then you start to realize, oh shit, they're actually okay people. They just didn't
just so
know. Just so happened they didn't know how to interact with people, or like they've been locked up in their room for the rest of their for like 20 of their lives and don't know how to have social interaction. That is fine. That is fine, and that's also where the cosplay community also opens up these gateways, these doors to these type of people to express the similar interests they have with their fellow human beings, fellow friends. So let's touch on like the darker side of this aspect first. Okay. So the darker side of this aspect is that yes,
there will be people that will like come after you.
Being creepy stalkers and
creepy
such.
stalkers, yeah. And even if you repeatedly like tell them like, hey, no is a no, it goes 50-50. Sometimes it's like, okay, they'll stop bothering you. They
And some are persistent.
Will persistent, yeah. You have to say it multiple times. I would say that sometimes these type of people don't actually really understand what no means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to them it's like it's just a suggestion.
Yeah, to them it might be a suggestion, or to them it might be something that is only temporary. So for in that case, then that is not our duty to correct them. It's whoever the guardianship is to correct them. We can only inform and prevent as much disruption as we can.
True.
Yes, as cosplayers, we do see it in almost every time we come out. We do have to like witness and have to go through it. However, like through time, through like having an open mind, you know how to combat and navigate your way out of this type of situation. Yeah. So it's a lot of observing, a lot of
Patience and time.
Yeah. Mainly, it's always patience.
Yeah.
Have patience. If the first no is not, if saying no in a nicer way is not enough, then
All hands
amp
on
it
deck.
up.
Yeah.
Not yet. Amp it up a little bit. Just voice it out, or have someone else to just sternly, mainly like other males, to sternly to just say,
Get the point across.
Yeah, get the point across.
Yeah.
Usually, if
It works.
It usually works. Most of the time, it always works. You know, male to male confrontation.
Yeah, it's always works.
it always works.
But sometimes if it does get really very bad, I feel like that's where you need to start getting authorities to come and help you
Yes,
out.
that's when you have authority step in. You should, as the person, you should not be the one dealing with anything. It's either the people, the staff, or your helpers that should be the one to deal with. But even so, your helpers shouldn't like put your hands on them. Yeah. As long as you put your hands on them, that is like a big no-no.
It's gonna get into lawsuits categories and such as well.
And we do not want anything physical happening. Yeah, because police station, they will ask a lot of questions, and
then they're gonna start being like, you shouldn't have done that, and then kind of
as
thing.
one case we definitely know that I was there, by the way, when I saw it unfold, and it's super unfortunate, misogynistic too. I'm so sorry, guys. Not really.
I don't think we have to be apologetic for that situation. I think we're referring to like, there's a reason why we're talking about this too, and these topics are coming out, because let's be honest, I think half of the people that we have talked to, or the community that we've been in, I think it's very damn obvious. It's like half of them are really just it's just there's no way to, there's no sugarcoating it. It's just terrible.
Yep. So yes, we all know there is the bad side, the bad bunch. Okay, all you gotta do is just do your best to say no. Do your best to not give them the reaction
or the upper hand in anything.
At most, if you see that this person shouldn't be here, tell the authorities, tell the people of the staff. At least try to make sure that this person, whoever this person is, when
has
he
no
or she
chance.
has no chance to interact with other people.
Correct, exactly.
And if they will be interacting with other people, make sure they have a guardian with them at all times, so that the guardian can stop whatever's happening from escalating. And we can move on as our daily lives. Yeah,
exactly. Just move on to other things, especially in that situation. Exactly. I feel that that's like the one thing that like kind of haunt the daylight for like a lot of cosplayers, especially. I mean, like for like regular folks around here, I feel like a lot of them like living the day-to-day lives. I think harassment, especially for female cosplayers, it's not nice to say like, oh, it's to be expected. Like, no, this shouldn't be a thing.
It shouldn't be a thing. Yeah.
Like male or female cannot go through this. This is not nice.
The fact that so sorry, but the fact that we have to tolerate this is like guys,
sucks.
come on, it's 2024. It's
sucks.
gonna be 2025, guys, by the time you watch this video.
Yeah.
So in the end, it's like let's say we can't avoid this. Unfortunately, as societies, we are still going to be flawed. There's still a lot of things that we cannot like pinpoint on everything. So what can we do? Be smarter. Know what you can or cannot do, and surround yourself with good people, good friends that will stand by you and protect you. And just hope for the best. Hope for the best. They don't come up to you and come after you. And if they do, then just place go through like the formal placement of blocking social media, not giving the person any availability to seek for you, to question you, to anything, nothing.
Just by all means, like try to minimize presence.
Interaction.
And
present interaction.
Because at the end of the day, it's like any troll that we try to deal online is that don't give them attention, because the moment you give none, they get nothing out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like at least in that situation is that as long as you don't entertain the idea, then they'll win nothing. You win that situation.
Yep, exactly. So now we're going to move on to the misunderstood side, which is also kind of like around that area of like the awful of the awful, because sometimes they are misunderstood, but they still do kind of like awful things, or awful things that has already happened to them, and it's not by cosplayers, it's by like cosplayers fans that does this to them, and it's so unfortunate. And a case I can tell you is that I have this specific fan. He is autistic. Okay, but he's a very nice man. He might have some verbal challenges, like we don't really understand what he's talking about.
Like tics, right? I'm not mistaken.
Not tics, more like when he speaks, you can hear words, but like it's like cut into pieces, it's jumbled out with other words. But this guy, he is very sweet. He's a very nice man. I've interacted with him a few times now. He does have a very weird speaking way. He does have like somewhat problems of like closeness.
Boundaries, pretty much.
Yeah. So he will sometimes cross the boundaries, but he also doesn't know like what boundary that he cannot cross. So because everyone's boundary is different, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he is unable to identify what boundary is what. So he'll treat everyone as the same, and if like some people misunderstood as like, oh, he's being a stalker, he's being creepy, he keeps asking my friend for like a photo again and again and again. And like here's the thing, like if he asks you, can I get a photo, and you say no, then he'll respect that and he'll walk away. Maybe an hour or two later, if he sees you, he will then reapproach you and ask, can I have a photo? If you say no again, then he say okay, walks away, and he'll come back once more just to ask for a photo. And if he doesn't get a photo, he will say okay, he'll walk away. At this point, how I see this situation is that he sees the no as a temporary situation. From observing him, he only knows no in that moment of time. That means a yes could always be a variable.
A temporary thing.
No, yes can be a variable, means that a no is also a variable. Until he gets the picture, then he will leave you alone. Some people misunderstood that as in he's being creepy, he's being a stalker, and all that.
But I think if you take your time to willing to explain to him, I think he'll like, oh, I
don't want a photo. I've done that before. I've tried that. The poor man was being scrutinized online for being
a quote unquote pervert and a creep and everything.
Yeah, but even though it was purely misunderstood. It was purely misunderstood. And the thing is that he cannot read social cues. People like these are unable to read social cues, depending on how high the spectrum is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because there's someone
I'm right. Depending on how high the spectrum is, they don't know how to see social cues. Or they don't, Thank you for confirming.
I feel like it's more of a, how to say, like, for them, because they don't see small signs.
Yeah, they won't be able to.
Yeah, because...
Example is that, like, it's really a just in case they don't know what sarcasm is.
Yeah.
Correct. That is true. They don't actually get the hint of it, because to them it's like they don't understand like how language tones work and everything, because for them it's like if you're talking to me, it's a conversation, that's about it. It's not like a full-blown thing.
Yeah, they don't see the thing.
Yeah, they don't see that, it's clearly a wave that you can really tell that this is not what they intended to be.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised by that response, actually, honestly, because I'll be very honest, like, okay, in my whole lifetime being with models, because I used to be in a relationship with a cosplay model myself. So my life was kind of like this as well in one point, actually. I've seen it before and I've seen the creeps. And I completely agree, but I'm happier that you're telling me this, because a lot of cosplays that I've known that they just shrug it off and saying that it's not my problem, not my thing, and if they're being a creep, I'm gonna get someone to get it out of my ass kind of thing. So it's kind of nice that you're actually like giving a chance to like let me actually know what the hell is going on exactly. So maybe then I can give my full judgment.
Yeah, I believe everyone at least gets 2 chances. If you come to my booth, you get 2 chances. The first chance is when I meet you for the first time. The second chance is when I talk to you for the first time. Because when you meet me the first time, it will always be very frontal conversations, very like baseline. And it's from there I can determine whether or not you come back to see us in the next event. And if you do, then like I'll take that second opportunity to continue on to make conversation. Yeah, get to know you, make conversation. Because I do believe that being able to build some form of connection, may it be a friendship or a fan to an idol connection, it's get to know your audience. Yeah, it's to know what they like, what they don't like, and we're all human beings at the end of the day. And if eventually one day I do end up stop like doing what
this
I do,
or what you're doing,
I know that I still they're not going to disappear because they know me for being other than being an idol, is also me as a person. So I like to build that network, that connection with them.
True. I feel that that's like the one thing that I feel like a lot of like cosplayers, especially new and young, like new and old especially, gotta like eventually learn about it. Like give the ability the chance to at least like get to know your audience. Like if you're dealing with like, because I don't see often cosplayers would make an effort to, get to know your audience, get to know your fans, and because I think like I agree like. How do you met him exactly to per se?
So like we go rock climbing together.
Ah, that's beautiful. That's cool. All right. So you guys met like through normal means and such?
Yeah, normal.
So he doesn't know like he doesn't know about this side yet, and he knows the real you before knowing the cosplay side of you. That's kind of cool because I think that reflects upon like the friendship you both have, especially because it shows that like give it a chance. Like if you can like work things out, this can work. Like it feels like friends and such. This is like the beauty part that I don't think people understand.
It's the same thing. I do actually have a fan that ended up becoming a friend at the end of like after like coming to.
So from booth, cosplaying to real life.
Real life friends, and. One thing I did like explain is that if you see me here, I am one person. If you see me out there, I'm a different person.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, because I would say that cosplaying can be a hobby, but it can also be work.
Yes, correct. That one I agree.
Knowing how to cut the line between your real life and your professional life.
True.
So for me, I consider this as my professional life. Like how I'm talking to you is also how
we interact.
How I interact with you is also the professional life I've been like doing like for 12 years.
Okay. So that's good.
Yeah. But whenever we are outside, then you can see that I am more like probably more chillaxed. Probably more loud, just everything.
I mean, in this situation, is that like because like for me at least that I understand that need for level of professionalism, but for me it's a bit different because I try my best to be like, if you're talking to me like this is the conversation we're having. It'll be the same even when the camera and the mics goes off. I try to like be
real.
Be real, but. I get it that people say like if you're not very likable, you try to put on a mask at least to be at least approachable.
Yep.
But I do feel that to some degree it kind of bleeds into your
real life. Yeah, it does actually. It does.
But balancing it does work out.
Balancing is up to you as a person on how you want to balance it out. I do know that whatever I built for 12 years, it has bleed into my real life. But I also try to, make a clear line for myself. Like, hey, I can merge the personalities. I can merge some things together, but I cannot let it completely overtake me. Like this is who I am. Like, hi, this is who I am, but in real life, no, not really. Yeah, exactly. You're seeing the real me now. Yeah, see, exactly. Yeah. So when you have that mask bleed into like your real self, then you start to find a way to just blend it together to make who you are a little bit more authentic.
True. it's a bit more harmonious in a way.
Yeah.
Alright, I get it. I think that's a way, that's a good way to approach things, especially when people are like not used to the environment and just trying to get over it. I think they'll get to a point where they'll figure things out slowly as the time needs them to be. I feel like as long they don't like put themselves in a position where like I'm not comfortable with it, if I don't speak about it, it's gonna be worse.
Yeah.
It's better like say something so at least you can get out of that situation.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Like, thank you for having this talk with me.
Thank you.
It helps to know that there are cosplay models that I was really worried like the mindset behind it was going to be very drastically bad. So I'm really glad that yours was a bit more, how to say, I won't say forgiving, but it's more nicer. It's a good approach because it's not every day you get cosplay models who like really look into their fans, because some can be money hungry, if anything.
That's true. There's no wrong. Okay, honestly, as a cosplayer, there is no wrong of being money hungry, but there is a wrong of being too greedy for money. You see your fans as a
cash cows.
Cash cows, yeah. And I've seen people who view that, and unfortunately, they're not doing so well for themselves.
There's a reason why they're not doing it.
That's the reason why they are not here in Comic Fiesta.
We're calling shade now, eh?
Yeah.
And now we're just throwing in shade for no reason.
You know why? Because at least I can say the truth. And you guys can't confront me about one thing, really? Tell it to my face, man. I'll tell it to your face. The reason why I don't tell it to your face is to save you some
dignity left in you.
Some dignity left in you, yeah. Because if I say it all in front of your face, I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't
crumble already.
Yeah, you guys
pretty
wouldn't
much.
be here. I'm very front about like how I feel and what I want to say. And even if I don't like you, I'll still say it for your sake because I know you can be better. Like I believe you can be better.
If I could shake your hands with it, I think that because that's how I do things.
Oh yeah!
So we're very truthful people. So blunt is everything.
Yeah, exactly. The world is too shady to.
Everyone's throwing shade and they're hiding their motives, and I hate it. I truly hate it.
I hate it too.
So at least I tell you the truth. There's nothing going on honey in the background because at least everything's out there. Because you can dig dirt. I am the dirt.
Yeah.
Like you can try, but the dirt is already out on the land already. So, but I'm honored. Like thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're like the. So far, the nicest like models I've met so far, like it's quite front about it, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for being a great host as well.
You're welcome.
Thank you for playing into the character with me, I guess. And yeah, it's a good change of pace. I like it. And do you want to give anything else to your friends? Do you want to end it up? Anything you want to say, just to give your 2 cents?
Can I start promo?
Go ahead.
Okay. I like how I said, can I ask permission?
No, go ahead.
I have to ask permission first.
I know, but you got it.
So guys, thank you all so much for listening in. If you like more, please go to their inbox and message them. You guys want to see more podcasts, or we might be able to collaborate on something interesting.
Sure. If the future allows, I don't really mind it.
Right? And yeah, if you guys like like the story or the conversation we're having, please go support their channel, subscribe, give them some love, And also, if you guys want to follow me on social media, you can do so on Instagram at RINA_PAN FLY 4. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.